One of the key features at a Manchester Veterans Memorial continues to go missing. Union members wonder what's happening to Old Glory. And the Supreme Court rules in favor of West Virginia this morning in a case involving the EPA. What could this ruling potentially mean for coal country?
Heat is back and the storm chances aren't far behind. I've got the latest timing and if any of those storms could be on the stronger side next at 5:30.
Dedicated to southern and eastern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Questions are being raised in a southern Kentucky town after an important part of a roadside veterans memorial was stolen. Someone is taking the flag from the memorial honoring the life of a National Guardsman killed in a crash on the Hal Rogers Parkway. WYMT's Phil Pendleton spoke to one of the men who keeps up the memorial about the act they are baffled over.
Ronnie Gay and others in Clay County have been taking care of this Veterans Memorial alongside the Hal Rogers Parkway in Manchester.
And we had some people to pitch in and help buy the flagpole, and they bought some extra flags too.
The memorial is very visible after coming around the curve on the parkway, and it's easy to see when something is missing, such as the flag.
And some low-life thing has been stealing their flags. And that's about as low as you can get, in my opinion.
They replaced the stolen flag with another. Then about 3 days later, that replacement flag was stolen too. Another went up.
Maybe we can catch this guy or woman or whoever before we run out of flags.
Glenn Stanfield died in 2004. There was a convoy heading to Barberville for training when the Humvee that he was driving collided with a tractor trailer. But he would later be posthumously awarded the rank of sergeant.
Pretty sad situation.
Gay says he didn't know Stanfield, but he feels it's important to honor veterans. He doesn't know why someone would do this.
I don't know, just sorriness. They probably saved them for appeal or something, I don't know.
Gay says he is exploring options to help them catch whoever is doing this. In Clay County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Gay says he has secured the flag better this time, which he hopes will be a deterrent in trying to steal it again. A partnership in Pikeville is bringing in the show to support those who served. Kentucky State Police, the Appalachian Wireless Arena, and the city of Pikeville are co-hosting a cruise-in tomorrow to bring some muscle and speed to Main Street. The cruise-in, which invites families to the Appalachian Wireless Arena to set up cars and enjoy the show free of charge, also invites donations, all of which will be given to the VFW Post 3769.
These men and women gave so much and sacrificed so much for our country that we were happy to jump on board and help out.
You can go to various places around the country and their support of their veterans is non-existent. To be in a place like this where they care about not only the veterans but what we're trying to do.
Those involved say the fun is one thing, but helping local veterans help other veterans is the most important part. The cruise-in kicks off at 6 o'clock tomorrow night. Well, you can help save a life right here in Hazard tomorrow. WYMT is partnering with the Kentucky Blood Center once again this year for a summer blood drive. Donors can give blood in the Bloodmobile, which will be parked right outside the front of our station tomorrow from 3 until 7 p.m. Donors will be entered to win a new 2022 Toyota RAV4 and an all-inclusive Jamaican vacation for two. If you are coming to donate, please bring your ID with you.
And watching some showers and storms developing already this afternoon, and actually we could see a few more as we head into the day tomorrow. We're entering into a rather stormy pattern as we head into the holiday weekend. Outside at the moment, I-75 at Mount Vernon. All is sunny for the most part, but look just above the banner there if you can. You're noticing kind of a base on some of those clouds as they try to climb up into the atmosphere, develop into showers and storms. Those clouds a little flatter as we run through the remainder of our region out toward the front door here at WYMT in Hazard, right where the Bloodmobile will be parked tomorrow. Temperatures in the upper 80s and low 90s around the region. Notice, though, London, Williamsburg at 84. They're a little cooler because they've been dealing with showers and thunderstorms. Just north of London right now near Bernstadt, East Bernstadt, seeing some showers and thunderstorms. We were watching a rather strong storm across portions of McCreary County. And right now, a storm, or at least a downpour, right on top of downtown Monticello. So any one of these, especially that area in McCreary County, we're going to have to watch for some localized high water issues that's been dumping the rain on portions of McCreary County for the last little bit. So keep that WYMT weather app handy as you head through the nighttime hours tonight into the day tomorrow, and really into the next 7 days. You're going to need it, especially with the latest radar imagery there. You look at our forecast for tonight, we only fall to about 70 before showers and storms start to develop as we head into tomorrow. Latest on that and what it means for your holiday weekend coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Right, Evan, thank you. The United States Supreme Court ruled this morning in West Virginia versus the EPA. This limits how much the EPA can regulate carbon emissions from existing power plants. WYMT's Dakota Makris reports on how this ruling could impact Kentucky.
President Joe Biden plans to cut the nation's greenhouse gas emissions in half by the end of the decade. The Associated Press reports power plants account for roughly 30% of carbon dioxide output. In a 6-3 vote, the court sided with the state of West Virginia. The ruling said the Clean Air Act does not give the Environmental Protection Agency authority to regulate greenhouse gas emissions from power plants that contribute to global warming. In a statement, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell said in part, quote, "Today's decision frees Kentucky's power producers to provide their customers with cheaper, more reliable electricity."
I'm not an expert on what may be the future of the coal industry, but in the short term, it's picked up some. We'd love to see that last for a while.
Justice Elena Kagan wrote the decision strips the EPA of the power Congress gave it to respond to climate change. Kentucky Agriculture Commissioner Ryan Quarles said in a statement he has pushed back, quote, against unfair government regulations, end quote. Environmental group the Sierra Club disagrees. An attorney for the club said scientists warned we are running out of time to combat climate change and no one should make it harder for the government to use its tools to protect families and communities. Dakota Makris, WYMT Mountain News.
Senator McConnell said there has been a temporary pickup in the coal market, especially in Europe. Ketanji Brown Jackson has been sworn in as the Supreme Court's newest justice. Justice Jackson is the nation's 116th justice. She brings nearly a decade of experience as a federal judge to the Supreme Court. Dean of Howard University School of Law Danielle Holly Walker says Justice Jackson will have a significant impact with her background and experience as a woman of color, a mother, and former federal public defender.
I think Justice Jackson will be similar to other justices who have been labeled as kind of the conscience of the Supreme Court. And when I say the conscience of the court, I mean someone who really talks about the everyday person.
Justice Jackson is a Harvard graduate and has served on its Board of Overseers. During her confirmation hearing, she said she would recuse herself from the affirmative action case involving Harvard, though she could rule on a challenge involving the University of North Carolina. The Biden administration's immigration agenda scores a major win today from the U.S. Supreme Court. The High Court ruled in favor of ending the Remain in Mexico policy that began in 2019 during the Trump administration. The final tally was 5-4, with Chief Justice John Roberts and Justice Brett Kavanaugh joining the liberal justices in the decision. President Biden wants to end the controversial program, which is officially called Migrant Protection Protocols. It calls for sending some non-Mexican citizens who were in the U.S. back to Mexico to wait while their immigration matters were being dealt with. The policy has long been blasted by immigrant rights supporters who say it is inhumane. Well, President Biden is on his way back from Europe, where he attended a NATO summit in Madrid. The conference wrapped with all NATO countries promising to give Ukraine the support it needs to defeat Russia. CBS's Ian Lee has more.
This has been a historic NATO summit.
President Biden wrapped up the NATO conference praising the work done over the last 3 days.
We rallied our alliances to meet both the direct threats of Russia poses to Europe and the systemic challenges that China poses to a rules-based world order.
During the summit, the president announced a boost to the U.S. military presence in Europe. The deployments include 2 more Navy destroyers based in Spain, 2 F-35 fighter jet squadrons in the UK, and an additional combat brigade in Romania.
All this is against the backdrop of our response to Russia's aggression and to help Ukraine defend itself.
The president said the U.S. has already provided more than $7 billion in military equipment to help Ukraine defeat Russia, and more is coming.
The next few days, we intend to announce more than $800 million more, including new advanced Western air defense systems for Ukraine, more artillery and ammunition.
Russia's war in Ukraine prompted Finland and Sweden to end decades of neutrality. NATO members voted to accept the two countries into the military alliance, expanding NATO's border with Russia. Russian President Vladimir Putin said Russia will respond in kind if NATO deploys soldiers and military infrastructure to the Nordic countries.
Finland and Sweden are sovereign nations, and they have the right to choose their own path and to join NATO. We have welcomed them into our alliance. And we are, of course, prepared for any eventuality.
NATO is significantly increasing the number of soldiers on standby who can rapidly respond to threats, from 40,000 to more than 300,000. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
Sweden and Finland will formally join NATO next week when they sign their protocol paperwork. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, an Eastern Kentucky center is preserving the history of Appalachia and helping those in recovery.
Plus, after a dry start to the work week, some much-needed rain works back into the mountains as we head into the holiday weekend. The full breakdown coming up.